you talk to me? Yeah, I could use some inspiration. I need someone I can create with.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I look happy, don't I? Yeah, I do. Am I happy? Can be debatable. So, today I just want to talk about mental health. Honestly, I think not many of us young people speak about it openly as we should. I honestly think that, we are a bit held back on that. We're so busy thinking about, the latest trainers, the latest clothes, who the other person's dating, if they're dating whoever's ex and whatnot. I honestly think that people don't really search within. People don't take time to, know themselves like that. Which to me, that's wrong. It's like, don't forget who you are. In a sea of fish, don't forget who you are. You are one of them cute little fish, don't forget who you are. Don't forget your morals, don't forget your principles. And I say this because I went through a low in my life recently. One of many. People often think I'm like the happiest person in the world. People think I am like so confident, which I can be when I'm around my family and people that I can genuinely say I trust 100%. But outside that, you'll never see that side of me. It'll be like a rare thing, or you probably would never know. Like, people just see me and they be like, oh, you're so serious, you're so, to yourself. If you ask my family, you'll be like, no, she's actually crazy. She's crazy. She does the most at all times. She's very energetic. She says the most as well. I think sometimes people are so worried in maintaining this image of themselves to society, which to me, that's wrong. Like, don't act like you have this when you don't, It's like, people often think when their student loan money comes in, they can spend and buy like stupid stuff, and it's like they don't think long term. Like, why not putting some money aside and just, build up your bank account, find a job on the side and just save it up for the future. Think of the future. I feel like we're so busy thinking of now rather than the future, that people don't really actually know of the word future and what it actually means. The future for people is like tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. I'm just like, how about in 2 years time, 5 years time? What do you see yourself doing? Where do you see yourself going? Like, what are your priorities? Like, I feel like people are just so lost in the whole spectrum of looks, in the spectrum of money, materialistic things. I feel like we're losing ourselves as individuals. We're not really looking to help one another. We're not looking to be there for one another, really. And that hurts in a way. It hurts because these days you don't know who's there for you, who wants to be there for you, who's just there, for that moment. Obviously, people come and go into your lives, people will teach you lessons, but people don't really know what it is like to be on a low. People think it's attention seeking. People think it's people, just making up stuff. Heck, no. It's not. Okay. Mental health is a serious thing. You know, and some of us, we don't even get diagnosed because we don't want to have that label. We often believe that, you know, we don't want to have that perception of us in the world. We don't want to be another statistic. We want to be that statistic. And honestly, I feel like we can, with the right energy, with the right people around you. And to me, like, this year was my all-time low, which I'm not ashamed to say it, because it is life, it's part of life, it's part of who we are. You know, things happen, people happen, and you know, they teach you lessons. But sometimes words have a really strong, you know, meaning behind them. You know, when people say something to you and it will hit you, it will literally be like, whoa, I was not expecting that. Words will attack you. Some words will trigger you, you know, to go back to a whole different dimension which you didn't want to go to. Words will often, you know, bring your guard down without you knowing. And when you least expect it, everything's gonna be coming at you in all different directions, and you won't know how, why, when to stop, or why is it happening, or how did it happen, how did you lose control. And you know, sometimes we like to mask those feelings, and we're not honest with ourselves, with society. We tend to create this image of happiness. And you know, I'm a happy person, I am, but often people mistake my happiness for, you know, someone who's very arrogant, someone who's, you know, people often mistake it for someone who's weak. And we all have our battles, we do. We all have our issues. Family, friends, we all do. Relationships even. And one thing I can say, if you're genuinely a happy person and you can be happy for someone else, like, I will hype my friends up for the smallest things. And I know I have friends who will look at me like, why are you so happy? Like, that's not even that much. I'm like, that is a lot. To me, that is a lot. It's not for me, but it's for you. That means a lot to me, you know, because I like to see the next person happy. I want to be able to help the next person any way I can, because no one knows everyone's struggle. We just make a judgment by someone's character, a character that we only see probably like, what, a third or less of our day. And you know, we often make that mistake in judgment. Sometimes it can be within ourselves. We shut ourselves down because we don't want to put that weight on other people, which was a mistake that I often make. But I am trying to change that. I am trying to vocalize how I feel more. Work in progress. But it's just like, when you're so used to blocking stuff out of your mind and, you know, just being there for other people, you don't see how that can often drain you as an individual, because often you have your problems but you're trying to be strong for other people so they can load off their problems on you, and then when you know it, you are mentally weak, you are physically weak, you don't see a purpose anymore. It's like your brain has gone has been doing like an overload, and often we lose ourselves in that overload. We don't know the difference between, you know, you and society. Like you, because you're so busy trying to, you know, maintain this character alive that you often forget who you are, and you forget why you're here and your purpose and your goals and your morals. You throw all that out the window, and then you just feel like empty. You feel alone. You feel depressed. It's the best way to put it. You will feel demolished. You will feel like you cannot count on no one. And when you do try, you know, often people don't understand where you're coming from, and they're like, oh, it's fine, it'll be done soon, it'll be done by tomorrow. When tomorrow comes, that person does not feel the same. Is an everyday thing that people often mistake it for. It's fine, you didn't even mean that much, you're taking it too seriously. And that's where we go wrong. Words can trigger people's emotions, people's feelings, people's anger, you know, people's depression, anxiety, and a whole lot of mental issues that we often don't think about, really. We often ignore it. We often put aside. And honestly, I think that we have become more of like a selfish society rather than a supportive one. Like, yeah, everyone's on social media. Yeah, everyone's like, yeah, support this, support that, support this and that and that. But do you actually apply it to your own life? Like, most people don't. Most people just will apply it on social media and leave it and keep it moving. And that to me it doesn't make sense. And it's like, what? Like, what are you doing? Like, are you actually serious? Are you actually thinking of what you're saying? And people often mistake, you know, being realistic with, you know, with their ideal of what realistic is. And that can really cause a lot of damage in people. Like, sometimes when you feed someone a lie and that lie is there, but that person within themselves knows that lie is not true, sometimes that can cause it. Sometimes, you know, people will put their fake perception of what that person wants to hear at the time, which is wrong in so many ways, because that doesn't help the person, because that person deep down knows that, you know, it's a lie and it's not going to get better like that. And there's also the fact that people often put their insecurities on someone else. They will attack that person with their insecurities, which, sis, we're not doing. We're just not doing that. And I've learned from that, you know, someone put their insecurities on me, and, you know, I started to believe it. I was like, I am that person. I am. And then when I finally had someone to talk to, the person was like, you're not like that. You don't do that. And I was like, I do. But I couldn't even find examples of me being like that towards anyone, which is crazy, because I'm just like, damn, I was actually listening to a person who should have no say in my life. I let them control my life for a few seconds. It's sad, but, you know, you think about it and you think, I wish that person does get help. I wish that person does get the support they need, because sometimes we can't be the ones to try and help that person. We need to walk away from that situation, because when a person is so damaged inside and you are on the outside, that person will use you as a mental punch bag. And you know, we need to protect ourselves from that situation. We need to step back. We need to take, you know, full action. We need to say no, enough is enough. And sometimes we care about that person, we care, but here matters more than here, because if this is damaged, this will not connect, this will not happen, because then we'll be seeking for like the wrong thing at all times. We won't be thinking straight ever. You know, ask a friend, a family member, how they are, how they're really feeling, if they have any issues they want to talk about, because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You know, we can avoid situations where people overdose, people cut themselves, people kill themselves in many ways. We can change that, you know, we can do it. So if this video, you know, if you can relate to anything that I said, feel free to share with others. I just wanted someone to talk to. Sometimes strangers can understand you better than those around you. You know, strangers will give you an unbiased opinion. They will give you what you need, not what you want to hear. They will give you sometimes the answer that those close to you can't even give you, because they're afraid to be transparent with you. So, hope you guys enjoy it and have a great day.